Hey everybody, it's Brian back with the VIP Soundcheck, and I'm back with my next artist spotlight. Today is going to be a big one. It's Metallica. Not much that I can say that you guys don't already know, but Metallica obviously is probably the biggest and most commercially successful metal band of all time, and flat out just one of the biggest bands of all time. And personally, Metallica is the band that is responsible for me expanding my musical taste from just country and Christian music into hard rock and metal. And it literally comes down to Metallica and their self-titled, what is commonly referred to as the Black Album, that really just expanded my musical taste. And so I'm very grateful to the guys for doing that. And I'm grateful for my cousin Sean exposing me to them and letting me know the fantastic music that this band had. But as you may be aware, Metallica started in 1981, actually in Los Angeles, before they shortly moved to San Francisco, and that's where they started. And really, they were one of the big four thrash metal bands that kind of kicked everything off. And as I mentioned earlier, more than any other band, I think they are responsible for bringing metal to the mainstream more so than anybody. Probably Black Sabbath may be the other one that would be up there. But again, from my own personal standpoint, Metallica was critical to me getting into the harder rock and metal. Particularly, like I mentioned, their self-titled album, which is commonly referred to as the Black Album. It's almost all black. It's got that really barely seeable snake on it and the Metallica logo. That album was absolutely phenomenal. So in addition to that Black Album, they have actually released 11 studio albums, with the latest coming back in 2023, 72 Seasons. And it's interesting to see, again, they started out as like a thrash metal, the real fast, heavy metal, and they still have that without a doubt. But the Black Album kind of was a little bit of a shift to, I don't want to say softer, but more accessible music to the masses. And I know they took a lot of heat from that, for that from a lot of metal purists. And on one hand, I kind of understand why. On the other hand, it's kind of like, why are you gatekeeping that much? Why? It's almost like you don't want other people to enjoy what you're enjoying. And I've never understood that point of view. I get it if you don't like that a band changes and you just don't like the new sound. That is 100% valid. I felt that way about certain bands, so I 100% get that. But again, when it comes to that gatekeeping mentality, I think it's just kind of weird. Just my personal opinion. But again, they have, because of that album and because of their whole catalog, really cemented themselves as truly legendary metal hard rock band. And I want to talk about the members. So before we get to the current members, I do want to acknowledge some of the guys that have been in the band that no longer are. And we're going to start obviously with Dave Mustaine. He was one of the, not original, but from very near the start, guitarists. And he left the band and ended up starting Megadeth, which is a huge band in its own right. Ron McGovney was there from the beginning. He wasn't there very long, but he was one of the founding members. Jason Newsted was a longtime bassist for Metallica. And of course, Cliff Burton, who was an absolutely incredible musician who unfortunately passed away at a very young age in an unfortunate car accident. So, we do want to acknowledge these guys and the contributions that they made to Metallica. But the four current members, of course, we've got, the two mainstays who have been there since the very beginning, lead singer James Hetfield and guitarist James Hetfield, and drummer Lulz Ulrich. Now, these guys, again, are founding members, and they are the constants from day one till today. On guitar, we have Kirk Hammett, who's been there for a very long time. And now on bass, we've got Robert Trujillo, who's been there for at least a few years now. So they've obviously gone through some changes, but the core of the band has remained the same. And I would say that the spirit of Metallica has remained the same throughout that. Interestingly, back in 2004, they released a documentary, Some Kind of Monster. They took a lot of heat for this because they kind of opened themselves up and exposed themselves, behind the scenes of what goes into being a successful band and the the fights that can occur, the bickering that can occur. And I think a lot of people didn't like to see that. And to me, I applaud Metallica for having the courage to do that, knowing that they were going to take slings and arrows for it. I think that it's cool to see, you're one of the most successful bands in the world, and you have a lot of problems with it. It delved into alcoholism. It delved into, fights over where different members wanted to take the band and their artistic ideas. I think that it's healthy to see that happens even in the most successful situations. And so I enjoyed the documentary, and I think it was, again, very healthy for people to see that. So that's just my personal opinion on that. As I always do, I want to give you guys, a taste of what Metallica sounds like. Now, I could have chosen 50 different songs, and this video would have lasted forever. But I do want to give you some of my personal favorites. And of course, I'm going to start out with Enter Sandman, which is one of their biggest songs. As you guys know, one of my favorite bands, The Warning, did a cover of it. But here's some of the original Enter Sandman from Metallica. And up next is one of their heavier ones that I absolutely love, One. The music video for this was disturbing, not like an evil sense, but disturbing because it showed, a war veteran who was basically almost in like a comatose state because of his injuries. And that's what the song is about. So here's some of Metallica's One.
I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true. Hold my breath as I wish for death. Oh, please, God.
Up next, again, another classic, The Unforgiven. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one. Up next is Fade to Black. And Fade to Black, in my opinion, has, with Metallica, I just take a step back. Metallica, one of the reasons that I love them, and many people do, is just the incredible guitar work that they have in so many of their songs. And, particularly when you look at some of the guitar solos. And Fade to Black has, in my opinion, one of the best guitar solos ever. So here's some of Metallica's Fade to Black. I'm going to finish it out with my favorite song from Metallica, one of my favorite rock songs ever. And again, I talked about, the Black Album, Metallica being critical to me expanding my musical taste, particularly this song. And this song is Nothing Else Matters. I absolutely love this song. And it was the one that my cousin played for me. So again, here is Metallica with Nothing Else Matters. So there you have it. Most of you that see this are already massive Metallica fans. I didn't go over anything that you didn't already know, but hopefully you enjoyed this video. So let me know down in the comments of what you think of my video here. Of course, what is your favorite Metallica song? Or if you've seen them live, what's your favorite memory with that? Let me know what other bands and songs that you guys are listening to. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to keep up with everything that I'm putting out there. And as always, I want to thank you guys for spending this time with me. I love you all, God bless, and rock on.